Professor Ahmad Bukhari Muslim, Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Business Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, Professor Eeng Ahmad, Vice Deans of the Faculty of Economics and Business Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, Professor Vanessa Gafar, Dr. Tony Heriana, and Dr. Lily Adewibowo, Head of Study Programs, our program speakers, fellow lecturers, and participants. Welcome to the third FPEB International Days online summer program with this year's theme, the Metaverse Era Towards a Digitalized Economy. This event marks the third year of FPEB International Days and has been joined by participants from many countries. With this annual program, we certainly hope that many other international events will follow. Online summer program will be held every Friday and Saturday from September 9 until October 7, 2022. Before we begin today's event, we will listen to Indonesia's national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the report of the third FPEB International Days Online Summer Program 2022, I would like to invite Mr. Denny Andriana, PhD, to deliver this program's report. Mr. Denny Andriana, PhD, the time is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Tutik. The Honorable Director of International Affairs Directorate, Professor Ahmad Bukhari, the Honorable Vice Deans, Head of Study Programs and Lecturers, the Honorable Guest Speakers, and also fellow participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to the third FPEB International Days online summer program. Our main theme for the third FPEB International Day online summer program is the Metaverse Era Towards a Digitalized Economy. So the topic was chosen due to the increase of technology such as big data nowadays and how it affects our life today. And the use of this big data for business is argued can increase revenues, productivity, and creativity in developing new products and services. However, the development of big data itself is facing challenges where the users are unable to understand and interpret the outcomes of big data. Therefore, the aim of this program is to enrich the knowledge of the participants on the usage of technology in businesses the prospects and also its challenges. We invite speakers from both academicians and practitioners to discuss the topics. And also we aim a very specific targeted participants for this program. And this year we have 33 participants who have registered for the program, coming from different countries such as Ghana, Botswana, Uzbekistan, Nigeria, Yemen, Tunisia, Malaysia, Sierra Leone, Bangladesh, and also Indonesia. And I do hope that all participants will gain a new experience and of course a lot of new friends by joining this program. And thank you very much for your participation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Denny Antina, PhD, for your speech. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next speaker, I would like to invite Professor Vanessa Gafar as the Vice Dean for Academic Affairs, Faculty of Economics and Business Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, to give her opening remarks. Professor Vanessa, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tuti. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Director of International Affairs Directorate, the Honorable Vice Deans, we have Dr. Lily Adwibo here, Head of Study Programs and Lectures, the Honorable guest speakers, and all participants. Good morning, everyone. And first of all, I would like to welcome you all to the third FPEB International Days online summer program, even though it's not summer anymore, because we usually held this program during the summertime. And this year, our faculty is still organizing the online summer program, and it's our third year to organize this event. And this event is a grant. We apply for a proposal, and the grant is given by the under the world-class university scheme from the university. So thank you, Dr. Abu, for this grant. And as you know, that this international summer program is held by the Faculty of Economics and Business Education, of UPI. And for your information, our faculty was first established in 2008. Before that, we are still under the Faculty of Social Science. And then we have 7 study programs in bachelor degree, and then 3 study programs in master's degree, and 2 study programs in doctoral degree. So the vision of our faculty is to be recognized internationally. Almost all of our study programs in the faculty already have accredited by the International Agency Accreditation. And to implement the vision, one of the program that is held by the faculty, one of which is the international program, like the summer program. So as it was earlier mentioned by Dr. Denny, that this program is a program which has a very targeted audience, where we invite international students and of course our students from FPEB. So I do hope that all participants will gain a new experience and of course a lot of new friends by joining this program. We also have here the speakers, not only from the academicians, but also from the practitioners. And for the first day, thank you, Mrs. Grace Henny, who already be willing to join us in this summer online program. And we really do have great speakers. They are all experts in their field. So again, I do hope that all participants will gain a new experience in this online summer program and enjoy the summer program. Thank you very much for your participation, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Professor Vanessa Gafar, for your opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, to inaugurate and mark the start of the program, I would like to invite Professor Ahmad Bukhari Muslim as the Director of International Affairs, Directorate Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, to officially open the third FPEB International Days online summer program. Professor, the time is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Tatik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very warm good morning to everyone, all the participants, Indonesia, and also from overseas countries. Honorable Professor Vanessa Ghaffar, Vice Dean for Academic Affairs, Faculty of Business and Economic Education, Dr. Eddie Ward, Vice Dean, Dr. Denny as the Head of Organizing Committee, Heads of Departments, all participants, and of course, honorable speakers, Ms. Grace Amy. First of all, I'm speaking on behalf of the Directorate of International Affairs as well as Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. We extend our highest appreciation to the Faculty of Business and Economic Education, to the organizing committee of this third summer program, virtual summer program, organized by the Faculty of Economic and Business Education. And I think during the pandemic, I have witnessed that the faculty has been organizing this virtual summer program. And for the third virtual summer, the topic, which is Metaverse Era for the digitalized economy, is very timely and important. Now, we understand that everything now become more digital, more global, and I think economy is one of the important aspects at the frontier of these digitalizations. Just now, Dr. Denny mentions about big data technology, and for example, I'm not that knowledgeable in economy, but what I know is, for example, fintech has been a very important phenomenon in how economy and technology realizations have been twinning. So I believe that this expertise from honorable speakers in the program will provide an enlightenment for the participants from the 33 participants from various countries in Asia, in Africa, in ASEAN, of course, including in Indonesia. And so during the summer, I believe that they will receive not only knowledge on the cutting edge of digital economy from our honorable expert speakers, but as Professor Vanessa mentioned, this is also a very important means of building networking among students. I believe that these students coming from different countries in Asia and Africa and other parts of the world will get the most benefit from this gathering, this meeting, based on virtually for now. We do hope that the pandemic will go away soon. Then we are very happy to warmly welcome you, Ms. Grace Henny and colleagues, to, of course, to visit and to enjoy the warmth of Bandung and also Indonesia and also at our university, of course. So our university really support this internationalizations program, be it summer program and other exchange programs such as students exchange, faculty member exchange, and other partnerships. So, and I believe that the Faculty of Business and Economic Education is the youngest faculty, maybe not the youngest, the second youngest, yeah, Vanessa, established in 2008. But I know that the faculty is one of the most progressive faculty in terms of programs, in terms of accreditations. So I believe that the Faculty of Business and Economic Education will be a leading unit at our university in supporting the internationalizations of our university as part of our commitment for internationalization. So, dear students, so although now you are attending the session virtually, we do hope that we will be able to invite you physically offline to our university, because our university also provide opportunities for international students to come under different schemes of scholarship, whether scholarship is from the Indonesian government and also from our university. So once again, we do hope that this virtual summer from now until October, as Dr. Danny mentioned just now, every Friday and Saturday will become a fruitful and important means of improving knowledge, expertise, experience, as well as networking in the area of the digitalized economy. So again, on behalf of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, I would like to declare this virtual summer conference officially open.
Thank you very much, Professor Ahmad Bukhari Muslim, for your speech. Or the speaker will leave the Zoom meetings, but I hope that all the participants will not leave the meeting yet, because we have a very interesting speaker for our first day of third FPEB International Days. So we are now in the main event. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Professor Vanessa Gafar as today's moderator to take over. Professor, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tuti. A very good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable speakers, as well as all participants. I believe that, or probably it's still early in the morning in some part of the country, so that not all the participants join the Zoom meeting yet. But hopefully they will be able to join soon, because we've already have a list of the students, both international and local students. Okay, a very good morning again to all participants. As it is mentioned earlier by Dr. Denny and the MC, Dr. Tutik, that today it is our first day of our online summer program. It will be held for 1 month, every Friday and Saturday. And we have such a great speakers here, and it's already joined with us, Mrs. Grace Henny. Good morning, Mrs. Grace.
Good morning.
Okay, thank you for joining us in this online summer program. I know that you are very busy with your activity, but again, we think that you will be able to join our program. Okay, before Mrs. Grace Hani will share about Indonesia 4.0 in the making through digital economy, I will share some brief CV of Mrs. Grace Hani. If you could see on the slide that Mrs. Grace Hani, she is the founder of 168 Solutions, and she's an expert in digital business, of course, 18 years experience in omni-channel or service center management, and 15 years of experience in the telecommunication industry. As we see here in the slide, that there are big companies, the telecommunication companies industry. And she's also handling various channels from voice to non-voice, experience of managing contact center operation, developing call center with contact center vendor outsourcing business scheme. And she was also the project consultant for setting up business process, training and development for emergency call center 112. And she also had many certificates, such as Singhua Digital Transformation, and then Alibaba Global E-commerce Talent, Alibaba Digital Economy Netpreneur Program, and many other certificates that she had. And then she also a part of the Google Mobile Leadership Development Program, ANT Netpreneur Program, Six Sigma Operational Excellence Yellow Belt, contactcenterworld.com, and she also a COPC 2000 registered coordinator, and also Sibyl Oracle CRM order management. So ladies and gentlemen and all participants, without further ado, I invite Mrs. Grace Henny to deliver her presentation, and you have a very your time is until 10:30. Okay, please welcome Mrs. Grace Henny. Mrs. Grace Henny, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Vanessa. First of all, good morning to all, Vice Dean, the Dean, the Vice Dean, and all the VIP and VVIP from all the stakeholders that today attended this session. I think this is very interesting that the session was given to me to feel and share my knowledge and experience. So I don't think I'm the most knowledgeable, but I do have few experience that I can share. So my objective today is, to be honest, to inspire the student. So I will be very truthful to Professor Vanessa and the stakeholder here that I want to share my knowledge to inspire all the students to think creatively, and then put your ideas to a proper business canvas, and then how to translate that ideas to action. At the end of the day, what we are doing is for better Indonesia. I believe that is our aiming, of course, for all. Okay, so the content that I will present is just one part of the whole summer online program, which is focused on the digital economy, and starting with the Indonesian digital roadmap. So there's the background, and then second, I will share the international best practice about ideas, digital economy, new things that happen at the other side of the world, and then we come back to Indonesia case studies. So I will divide my presentation to 3 sections, and then during those sections, I will provide 5 to 10 minutes question and answer. So we have a structure and proper way to absorb the knowledge, and also have the interactive session. Okay. So without further ado, then I'm going to the content. I need to share screen. Okay, so the title of my presentation today is Indonesia 4.0 in the Making True Digital Economy, because I believe one of the key ideas that also the Indonesia government already put is digital transformation in whole aspect of the country. And on the economy, the digital economy is the key, how we are going to transform the way we work, the way we transaction, the way we earn our revenue, and then becoming productive. Okay.
Indonesia, a country with more than 17,000 islands, more than 1,100 ethnic groups, and about 746 languages. Ranked 4th as the most populous nation globally, 196.7 million internet users, having 5 unicorns and 1 decacorn, Indonesia became one of the most influential digital movers in Southeast Asia. To get to the point we are ready today, Indonesia has performed various strategies to pursue digital transformation. The pandemic in 2020 has driven us to accelerate the process better and faster. First thing first, the digital infrastructure. To serve equal internet access for the whole nation, Indonesia builds various digital infrastructures to deal with its geographical landscape, starting from fiber optics, best transceiver stations, public access point, and next, Indonesia plans to launch 2 satellites. On top of the priority, Indonesia also focuses on implementing analog switch-off to provide more bandwidth for internet access and yield a better quality of TV broadcasting. Indonesia aims to make the infrastructure suitable for 5G technology and educate for implementing the Internet of Things in our industrial area. Indonesia also has developed several programs for the government and society. In the government sector, Indonesia is now developing 2 national data centers to leverage the quality of the public services. To encourage digital transformation in society, Indonesia has been running various programs. To improve internet usage for productivity and creativity, Indonesia has a national movement of digital literacy. It is a program for sharing the know-how of becoming digital savvy, which starts from honing digital skills, digital culture, digital safety, and digital ethics. The key in accelerating the digital economy lies in the capacity of the workforce. That's why Indonesia launched the Digital Talent Scholarship, a program that aims to equip Indonesians' digital workforce with hard skills that suit the industry needs. The Indonesian government serves as the regulator, the facilitator, and the accelerator in advancing Indonesia's digital economy. Indonesia has initiated many startup programs. One of them, named National Movement of 1,000 Digital Startups. Since 2016, the program has been focusing on building awareness in how to start a startup. The program does not only provide them with a startup mindset and best practices, but also connects them with mentors. For the early-stage startups that are ready to scale up the business, Startup Studio Indonesia. This program helps founders to achieve product market fit. For major startups, Indonesia arranges a matchmaking program to connect them with local and global venture capitals. By 2035, Indonesia will become a digital nation. With internet coverage across all parts of the country and a digital-savvy society, Indonesia is ready to elevate the global economy. Collaboration with strategic partners is the key to accelerate the transformation. Let's be part of Indonesia Digital Nation.
This is the video from the Ministry of ICT, and I think all the content and presentation and video I will share with Professor Vanessa, so the audience can have further research after the session today. The Indonesia Digital Roadmap is actually divided into 4 sectors with the aiming of building the digital infrastructure, and then digital government, digital economy, and from all the 3 sectors, the key and very key is the people. So that's where the digital society need to be built. So the Indonesia Digital Nation, based on the roadmap that Ministry of ICT put, is this visual is the 4-item sector that to be built towards the Indonesia 4.0. That's why I put my title is Indonesia 4.0 in the making through digital economy. Okay. Based on the digital economy working group by Ministry of ICT during the G20, Ministry of ICT focused on the 3 sessions, 3 issues which is to be prioritized, to be addressed. The first is the digital economy issue. They have 3 issues priority of digital economy. Is the first is connectivity and post-COVID-19 recovery as the first priority. And then the second is digital skills and digital literacy. And then the last one is cross-border data free flow with trust. So during the digital economy working group in G20, these 3 segments is the key priority towards the digital economy process. So I will go through based on this structure. On the connectivity and post-COVID-19 recovery, the digital infrastructure is the main thing that to be built. So this slide was shared by the Ministry of ICT speaker, Mr. Dedi, during the Digital Leadership Academy session. And the content key is 2 items actually. First, there is an aiming objective of minimum 1 village, 1 BTS. As we all know, internet is the key to opening access for the digital economy. And by 2024, the aiming is minimum 1 village, 1 BTS. BTS here, a base transmission station. So the village can access the internet. Second, the objective is each village to be able to be connected and accessible. So by doing this, the hoping that the whole almost 100% village by 2024 to be able to be connected and can access internet. It's quite ambitious, yes, but I think Indonesia can do it. We have to be optimistic that we can achieve this. The reason each village to be connected and accessible, because there is 3 key sites that have to be connected. The first is the government site, which is government office like Lurahan, okay? They have to be able to connect internet access. Secondly, is the small clinic called Puskesmas. That's provide as a health institution that has to be connected. And the third one is the key major school that has to be connected. So each village connected and accessible, the first priority to be connected is those 3 key sites. And then the other thing on the digital infrastructure is government set 4 sites data center to be built. Bekasi, Penajam Pasir, Batam, and Labuan Bajo. Those 4 locations is where the data center will be built. This data center will help to support the infrastructure and also the digitalized activities. To support the One Data, Satu Data initiative. About 4 or 5 years ago, government already set an initiative called One Data, which is Satu Data initiative. And that One Data initiative has to be continued with a robust way and to be supported by the new infrastructure that on progress. And from the digital infrastructure, what is the success story of controlling COVID? Well, we can say now that we are considerable success in controlling COVID because of the fact in 2022 this year, we go almost offline 100%. Okay, we do have the darkest hour, I think, at 2020 something, but we're able to manage that with the balance of managing, controlling the people activity, and yet doesn't sacrificing too much on the economic activity. So this is the first priority of the issue that was addressed on the digital economic working group. And then we go on the second item. The focus second item is the digital skill and digital literacy. What is the reason of this becoming the most key important item? Because people actor is the first point of all the changes and transformation to be held. Based on research 2019, IMD Digital World Competitiveness put Indonesia at the rank of 56 out of 36 countries. And then after 2019, 2020, and 21, the ranking is not so much change. Okay, so we do believe that people is still the key and major component to be developed, and that's also the reason I think I'm very happy to share my knowledge in the spirit of building the knowledge and spirit building the people. Okay. Indonesian Digital Talent Launching 2022, my Ministry of ICT is actually the 6 years. So this initiative, Digital Talent, is actually put about 5-6 years ago. And then the current minister and the Ministry of ICT improve and then scalable and then make it more robust, make it more complex. And the numbers of people that was recruited and involved is becoming more massively. So we are doing this to help also the Digital Leadership Academy and Digital Talent Program by Ministry of ICT. I think that's also the spirit when Professor Vanessa invited me. I do believe we have to work hand in hand on how to build this. Okay. The objective is Indonesia 2045, or we call sometimes Indonesia Emas 2045. If we build the people through the digital transformation, and then we support the economy by transforming the digital economy, the aiming is by 2045, we are exceeding the middle income trap. So we hoping that we do becoming Indonesia maju and an advanced country. The building blocks of the digital society, I think we recall already, there is digital infrastructure, and then the digital government, and then digital society is the last component, but also the most important. Okay, so we talk about most of the discussion. Actually, we talk about the people, and how to upgrade the people. That's the key item to have all the digital transformation. So building the people through building the digital society. And Ministry of ICT already put also few activity on the digital talent scholarship and also digital leadership academy. They have quite a lot of topic courses, and I think more than 30 plus courses that reach student, new fresh graduate, 1 or 2 years professional, those people who want to upgrade skill or change career to coding. There's a lot of topic there that was given and open for public to participate. Okay. And all this was provided by government using the scholarship scheme. Now the specific that digital leadership talent scholarship, they have new, I think about new segment to be introduced by Ministry of ICT. It's called Digital Leadership Academy, which is specifically to leaders. Now, I want to talk a bit about leaders. The reason is we are talking about community and society. And if the middle management or supervisor is aware of the digital or the new things that have to be transformed using the digitalized, but the leaders doesn't aware what is digital, how and where, what is the aiming, what is this kind of animal called digitalized. That's when the Digital Leadership Academy having a role to help and support to upgrade the leaders to be aware and learn as the new skill on digital behavior. Okay, so this is a new initiative also introduced by Ministry of ICT. I believe academician, tech provider, leaders from private sector, state and enterprise are being involved here. So we can all, as the leaders, I think can contribute also. What about the others, the leaders and the followers? We're talking about the members of the organization. Then actually there is various digital talent activity had been held and executed to support the objective of in search of 9 million digital talent. Indonesia needs 9 million digital talent to be able to execute the digital transformation that the government set as the objective. So these are a sample of the activity that already held and executed to support these activities in searching of the 9 million digital talent. Okay.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
I don't go through the whole video, but I want just to share. This is benchmark that I attended. The program called Global Digital Talent by Alibaba, and they are aiming 1 million young talent. So it's not only Indonesia actually that's setting this objective as very strategic objective. So the other country and the whole world is also aiming to help and build the digital talent. So they implement a lot of execution and strategic initiative, how to reach, how to improve the people segment. So the reason I will share a lot of my items and activity benchmarking to China country was I was taking my, I was certified and attended the Global E-commerce Talent Network. And as I think the common amati tiru modifikasi slogan, yeah, is very relevant still up to now. So I think we have to learn from around the world. It just happened that I was learning there, so I can confidently share with you my experience. And I was visited and benchmarked through the site and the village that I will share with you later on. Okay, the third focus, we are coming back still on the three focus that being mentioned by Ministry of ICT during the Digital Economy Working Group. The third one is cross-border data free flow with trust. I do believe that this is very important, but we are still all learning on how to approach this. What is the Indonesia status right now? Snapshot of the digital society of Indonesia. Well, Indonesia is a very big country with the population of 270. So in terms of social media traffic, we are also, you can say, driving the social media activity. 275 million population, and then we have 345 million mobile connection. Because one people like myself, I have my 2 numbers and then my Wi-Fi and then my family numbers and then my company numbers. You can say one people, one name can have 5 to 6 mobile connection. And then the access is about 200 million internet user. And by updated data, we are social, 170 million active social media user. And even Twitter, I think last 2 years, stated that Indonesia is the most talk active countries in Twitter. Paling cerewet di Twitter. That's what they say. So bottom line is we are very active and we are accessible to the social media and to the digital world. Why digital trust is crucial? I think I do believe I won't go through this detail. This is very techy, but everybody, I think, understand bahwa that the digital trust and managing your data is very important. A common challenge in digital business. This slide is I get from ISACA, is an association of auditing and internet user. And the challenge is quite a lot actually. The reason I share this is based on my experience also that I built a digital startup about 4 years ago, providing software. And the software is supporting smart city innovation. And then after 3-4 years, I exit already. But based on that experience, building a digital startup, I experienced the challenges, the real challenges in digital business. First, when we talk about AI, robotic, and all those things, all need a set of data, enough, quite big data, enough data to be able to run. And the data should be structured in. So we may have a lot of data, but that is structurally poor and need to be maintained. And during the implementation also, there is a lot of unclear role and responsibility. But this is unavoidable because the digital era will require people to be agile. So the unclear role and responsibility, we have to manage it. Like we have to have the agile approach and activity on how to do things. And the failure in doing the digital startup is not failure actually. So every time we build something, we are facing challenges, and then we recycle from the start again, is happen a lot. So we don't call it failure actually. So we call it, we learn new things and then we change, and then we, the cycle is learning. So trial, error is very common. And the other thing that is quite complex is with the data, information regulation, and how to safeguard the data. This is things when we do digital business, we have to able to understand what is the challenge and how to protect them. And also, on the same time, we ourselves as the actor and the people have to understand what is now being happen and how to upgrade and how to protect them. Well, why the data is called the new oil? Because data is definitely crucial to support the digital transformation. Any algorithm, any coding, any program is run over a set of data. If you say AI, robotic, machine learning, what is the underlying of that? The data. Now, that's why we're talking about, I think previously it was mentioned also, the needs of the big data and what is the big data. We are all still learning, I guess. But we have to be optimistic. We will able to control and handle this, but takes time and we learn ourselves to improve things. Okay. And during this also, we understand that Satu Data, One Data initiative is still on progress. And also we are waiting for the RUU PDP for the data protection. I think it's not only Indonesia is facing this challenge. Every country in the world is facing this challenge also. So we should be able to handle this. It's just we need to help hand in hand and becoming in one team to handle this. Okay, that is the first session. So we were going to the second session. Before we continue to second session, let me stop sharing and then my team will do a quizzes. This is to cross-check and monitor how is the student and audience, and also give you some interactive activity, but still learning process. Thank you, Ms. Lucy. Okay, anybody? I believe all the students have the access to internet or using your mobile phone. Professor Vanessa, is it okay to have a quiz for the
Yes, of course. Yes, of course, it's good. Or probably, yeah. The link is already been shared in the chat, so it'll be easier for the participants to join. Because I tried to open the web quizzes.com and it is blocked, but now I can open the link.
Oh, it's blocked.
Okay. Yes.
Antivirus working, I guess.
I think so. Okay.
Okay.
So I think
And
it's
also don't forget
interesting.
Yes, Bu,
Yes.
Vanessa.
Okay. No, I mean, it's also interesting to listen to your presentation about how Indonesia will become digitalized, facing the Indonesia Emas 2045.
2045. Exactly.
Yes. And it will be many homework for the government, especially.
Yes, exactly. So I think within 1.5 or 1 hour, I won't cover all, but my objective is to provide you some best practice of other
Yes.
what they are doing. So
Mhm.
give you an awareness and also opening the mindset of what people doing on the other side of the world, with
Yes.
the hope that all the students and audience be inspired and
Mhm.
think differently how to approach this digital economy era,
Yeah.
because
So
it is very unparalleled.
yeah, so that's why we set you in the first day to switch the participants' mind to the digital era. So
Digital era.
we will have the same perception concerning the digitalization, especially in
Exactly.
digital economy in our
Exactly,
country,
Professor
especially.
Vanessa.
I think the participants is only limited up to 10 people for
Oh,
the
only
quizzes.
limited. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we can start. This is something interesting. Okay, go. First question. Bu Lucy, first questionnya sudah. I see the question. It's not the Lucy. Oh, this is the leaderboard. Okay. It's real-time leaderboard to see who is leading. I think another 1 or 2 years, Professor Vanessa, we will have this kind of leaderboard to show which student with their scoring. That is very, very interesting at that time. Okay, that is very Ya, tetap Cindy dengan Fernando. Cindy and Fernando Christian is leading. And then Diana already put. Okay, we have the winner already. Oh, but in the leaderboard still need up to 10 questions. 10 already. 10 out of 10 questions. The third is Diana. The second is Fernando Christian. And the first is we will send some souvenir to this student, Professor Vanessa, if it's okay with you. Okay.
Oh,
Related
thank
to
you. Thank you very
digitalization.
much. Thank you.
Well, the reason is sometimes we do games and quizzes is we want to test how is your digital literacy actually. You have to access internet. You have to be able to navigate your mobile phone. You have to be able to navigate the internet, the browsing, and all this by asking them to participate. That's the way we do things.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, in our generation, the gap between those two are very big. Not every people understand how to use the gadget.
Yes, exactly.
Not every people well informed about the digital thing.
Yes, exactly. Okay, shall we continue the second session?
Yes, please.
And also, please, I do remind again that all the materials and the video is accessible. We will provide the materials to Professor Vanessa and UPE team. And also the video is actually taken from the YouTube and all the public domain. We just pick it up. Okay. Second session, we titled the second session as International Case Studies. This is very interesting. And you can see there's a lot of new activities and new ideas implemented.
There's no doubt that China has developed a great deal in recent years. But most of the country still looks like this: rural and underdeveloped. But thanks to e-commerce, even these parts of China have been able to connect to the country's fast-growing economy. Farmers are now selling their fruits, veggies, meats, and handicrafts on e-commerce sites such as Taobao. Some of these businesses became so successful that Alibaba created the Taobao Village program to support them.
当这个村里面一年有1000万的这个交易额，然后有100个村民开了网店，我们就把它定成一个淘宝村的标准。
Because there wasn't just one path to success, Ali Research organized the Taobao Village Summit so participants could share their stories and their best practices. 6 years ago, there were just 20 Taobao villages across all of China, but now there are over 4,000. International organizations like the World Bank have been paying very close attention to this growth. So they're here to see if the Taobao village model can be applied to other countries who are also working to fight poverty.
E-commerce has potential for development for poverty alleviation. Alibaba is one of the world's leaders, if not the largest company in this field, and we like the opportunity to work with Alibaba and look at the Taobao experience to see what we can learn about the role that e-commerce can play in development in China, but also potentially in other countries.
A new study by the World Bank and Ali Research shows that household incomes in Taobao villages are almost 3 times that of the average rural household in China. And they're close to the urban household income level too. E-commerce in rural areas has also led to higher household consumption, the report says, as well as reduced income inequality and better job opportunities for women and young people.
We met a net maker 4 years ago on his mobile phone when he was just him and one employee, put a picture of his nets on your platform. And now he has 100 workers working for him. That's the promise. But I think a lot of things come together to make it work.
Indeed, Alibaba has been developing technologies and infrastructure to connect villages to the digital economy.
我们深入到农村去，建立服务体系，建立服务站，来推广、来运营我们平台上的这些资源，让他们获得这些技术、这些商业的方法和工具，利用淘宝、天猫，利用阿里云计算。 利用我们的高德地图，利用我们的旅游、蚂蚁金服的金融，利用我们合作起来的菜鸟物流，利用我们各种各样的技术来帮助农村这个市场呢，完善它的数字化的一个运营体系。
Attendees at the summit are looking for ideas to bring back to their own countries. Ali Research says that the number of international participants has been growing each year.
What we are here today is actually to consolidate all the knowledge and all the resources, and we're going to bring it back to our country. We're going to jumpstart the program, and hopefully we can create our own Taobao village in Malaysia.
This model, it can be replicated. We have rural areas that are just the same.
The Taobao village program is actually quite famous. Even World Economic Forum has put this as an example. And they do research a lot. McKinsey in 2019 up to 2020 something also researched this, and they put a quite huge paper report, journal about why, what, how, measurement, and all the dimension of this Taobao village program. So based on the discussion during our Digital Leadership Academy with Tsinghua University, I do remember that they always say China is not a mature country. They're still developing, not developed. Even with the success story of the digital economy and with all the new things happen, they still consider themselves as developing. So this Taobao is a program that implemented and to help what we call in Indonesia, Desa Digital. Also another activity, one product, one village, ya, satu desa, satu product, is actually quite similar to this. But in China, the original of this initiative is addressing those low-income village, and also a lot of village already left behind with the elder, very senior, because the young one, the productive segment, going to the cities. And that also helped develop the market. Okay, this is, I will talk more on this slide. This is my own picture because I went to learn in Alibaba, and then the traditional market in Hangzhou that I visited. This is the picture that I took by myself. Okay. You can see me on the left one. Okay. The traditional market there is actually the same with our traditional market here in Indonesia. I think in Indonesia, in Jakarta, BSD, Pasar Jaya BSD, the country market is also quite good and already similar to this kind. The difference is how they use the technology. Okay. If you see the second row, the third picture, second row, you can see the QR code there. There's QRAS. Now, here in Indonesia, we quite familiar with QRAS. If you pay, transfer, even if you go to small micro enterprise kiosks, sometimes they have the QRAS. But this happened when I visited Alibaba Hangzhou in 2019. So their market, traditional market with no air conditioner, one kiosk only have one QR code. So everybody buy and then they are using the fintech there to pay. And then the left picture, still the second row, the left picture, you can see there's like an office there. It's actually what you call here Badan POM, Balai Besar POM. Balai Besar POM in English is Food Drug Security, Food Drug Agency Security, that they will inspect the food and ensure it's safe for people to consume. Now, in the market, they have this kind of office, and then it was processed there. And the result of the processing, they put it on the database. So if I'm a new person, want to sell some catering or food, and then I send the sample to this office on the same building of the traditional market, and then they process it, and then they announce the result. And during the processing, they show you the video how the officer took the sample and processed the product. And then they provide the information. The other thing that is very interesting is you can see on the picture here, on the right one, down, still the second row, the right one. There's somebody pointing like a table, see? It's actually customer satisfaction survey for each kiosk, right? Well, it's very funny actually. First, if we see a lot of report for business to business or big enterprise customer satisfaction, but this is new things that I saw and I learned there is if you don't feel, if you as a buyer and feel like, oh, this kiosk is cheated on me, okay, don't provide good service, they are very lousy, and then not clean enough, they can put their comment. Certain weeks or regularly, the information here is updated. The reason is they want to build a competitiveness within the kiosk to provide good service. So it's a bit like transparency for the buyer and also the seller. This is all the new things that I experienced by my own. So all this picture, I took it myself during the visit in the traditional market. Okay. Well, on the right one, you can see there is few EDC machine. And you can compare in the middle picture, one kiosk, only one QRAS. I think Indonesia actually going towards this direction also, right? Okay. But few of the kiosks that we met here still having this kind of EDC machine. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 EDC machine. Right? In 2019, when I visited, they have strict regulation. And because of the authorized government, in a way, reinforce them to use the same platform, interoperability. So everybody in the ecosystem get the efficiency. Right? In Hangzhou, Alipay is quite famous there, and almost everybody use Alipay. The visual of the Alipay is on the left one. Okay. So you can see, because I visited there, I download few application there. So my second mobile phone at the time is full of the China application because I cannot pay anything if I didn't use Alipay. Okay, and then Didi is like here, like ride sharing. Okay. AMAP if you order food. Okay, so Tmall is a branded e-commerce thing. So I experienced myself during my visit there, during my learning there actually. Okay. Okay. We're going back to Taobao. This is the picture that I have myself, not from the website. The first row, there is a brand. This is the original experience, the original initiative that this Taobao village was created at the first place, I think about 8-10 years ago. So based on the story, there is a student from this small village. The village is called Bainu. Bainu means actually a white sheep. Okay, so the student there going to Beijing and then learn computer science, and then after he finished, he said to his father, because his father actually old, he said, I will go back to the countryside and I will help to build a business there. Because if not, my father is alone, see, okay, I have to go back and then looking for opportunity in the village, not in the city. So he going back and then he start his e-commerce. And after a few years, he got quite successful selling walnuts. So this Bainu is a success story. If anybody visitor from various countries come to China and want to see the Taobao village example, they will go to this village called Bainu. So this location is the originated of the activity collecting walnuts, and then the walnuts they repackage, they give different tastes, and then they export. Up to now, the number of export the walnuts is the biggest from this village. They only work about 8 months a year. The other 4 months is they go traveling and have fun. They spend the money for the 4 months after that. the 8 months, if they work hard, they work very hard, and then the 4 months, the rest of it, they travel and have a good times. Okay. Now, on the picture on the right below, you can see there is somebody writing something at the desk, and the statement there is by New Village Public Service Center of Electronic Commerce. So this village is having, like you say, a balai desa or public area to serve specifically people who want to learn how to do things for e-commerce. So they provide a 2 to 4 person, like customer service officer. If you don't know how to install things, you come there and then they will teach you how to do it. If you don't know how to take good picture of your product to be uploaded to the e-commerce platform, so the society, the people, the citizen visited this common site, this common office, and then learn anything that they need. If they are having problem of understanding, cannot upload, don't know how to take picture, how to packaging or send the product, okay, what to do with it, all those questions was helped by using this facility that provided by the village officer. Okay. Now, this by New Village actually it doesn't use that help anymore because almost 100% already literacy on the digital is actually already good. They already sell and do their transaction using the e-commerce platform. But this common village is becoming now like a museum, okay? Like a museum where people come and see what is the history. So they have a lot of picture and explaining what is the history from the before the village is becoming now quite good. The quality, I mean, the welfare of the people is now considered to be quite good, but previously considered will be very poor village. Okay. What is specific and key item that we can get from Taobao village? Firstly is rural e-commerce hub are relocating to towns. Okay. And then secondly, live streaming will help create Taobao village and Taobao towns in new ways. This is very new ones happening on the Taobao village. Okay. The thirdly is digital service application will thrive in Taobao village. I mean digital service, the meaning of digital service application is the interaction still took place on the digital platform, but the real format is changing a lot. Previously, they do website and then they go to mobile apps and then later on they use various other platform that is available in China. But the very specific important why this Taobao village program is very famous and becoming a center or success story example is because it's proven to help poverty alleviation. Okay, pengentasan kemiskinan is proven already. That's why they put it here, the target of Taobao village implementation from 1,000 to 3,000. I think the last time, 2019, I visited, they put about 300,000 villages to be implement this kind of initiative program. And they will see a lot of multiplier after they implement this. Okay. I want to share with you, this is something very interesting. I do believe the audience, most of them, I think millennials, okay, and they use live streaming. I believe all of them are already aware of live streaming. Like TikTok Shop is an ongoing process. Okay. Others e-commerce also have the live streaming feature now. So live streaming wave is actually very big now. It's just happened. We are still entry level in Indonesia. But the impact of selling through live streaming, we can see later on the example of Pororo that is also funny, right? So this picture, I took it myself during the TikTok shopping session to a student campus, and that they're explaining how they do things by the QOL. QOL is key influencer, key opinion leaders. Well, we call here is influencer. Yeah, okay. So they share how they do things and explaining what they do, and also try to inspire also some students who like to learn and committed to selling things using this. Well, it's actually quite funny, to be honest. If you say, what do you learn? I learned TikTok. People will think TikTok is, yeah, dance and singing only, right? No, now they are selling millions, billions transactions using this platform. Not only TikTok, yeah, the others, e-commerce also. So the methodology is moving from the chatting and picture to the live stream. This is something going to be very big and based on the observation around the world. So there is several key takeaways. I won't go to this detail. This is very inspiring. For me, this is very inspiring. Okay, what you see here is a older lady called Lu Aimei, and now becoming a famous food blogger. Okay, let's watch the video.
大家好，我是驴妈妈，今天给孩子们个大鱼，看，哇！ 大家好，我是驴妈妈。大家好，我是驴妈妈。大家好，我是驴妈妈。今天弄草莓。
我的心情那时候很崩溃呀，现在时间长了吧，那时候很崩溃呀，现在麻木了，为了小孩好好的活着吧，过一天，那个孩子们开心一天，快乐一天，孩子也高兴，我也高兴，因为人不是这样嘛，快活乐乐是一天，都是哭哭啼啼还是一天吧。 每一次看看孩子，叫孩子升到这个世上来，好好的带他呀，不能亏待孩子呀。我受点累点，我是个正常人呐。孩子虽说不好听，不会动，不会吃，不会喝的，还得我喂他。儿子生到这个世上，都是缘分吧，好好的对待他。
So the basic things on this new digital is a new dimension of opportunity. Why I put it in bold is because this is true. Imagine that lady, which is 60 years old, if she's applying even to a kiosk worker, I don't think anybody will accept her, right? So a senior person with the specific skill, which is cooking, she has 2 disabled sons, meaning limited mobility, right? Okay, you cannot go too far from her house. So, but the digital economy is reaching the unfavorable segment. That's what I call a new dimension of opportunity. Okay, so I stop here. Maybe we can take a few questions, Professor Vanessa, before continue to the third session.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Grace. Such an interesting presentation, especially when you share about the Tabo village. And I really like the last video about a mom who become a food blogger. You know, she has 2 disabled sons, and she also includes her sons to be the part of her video, being a food blogger. So I think that's a very inspiring thing. And from this, we can learn that being digitalized is not, as you mentioned earlier, that we have a new dimension of opportunity in being digitalized. So I think it's very interesting and it's very inspiring. So from the audience, you might have a question that will be asked to Mrs. Grace. So we invite audience. Is there any questions from the audience?
There's somebody.
Okay. Okay, Pak Asep. Yes, okay. Please, you can directly ask question to Ibu Grace.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prof. Vanessa. Thank you, Mr. Grace. Thank you for this opportunity. It's very inspiring topic for me. I have 2 questions. The first question, Mrs. Grace, you mentioned that one part of the government's objective in terms of.
Sorry, the voice is grumbling.
Yeah, I think your voice is not
Supporting
clear,
Indonesia dream. And second question,
Asep, could you repeat the first question since your voice is not clear?
Okay, I repeat my question. You mentioned that one part of government's objective in terms of supporting Indonesian digital nation is building infrastructure, 1 village and 1 BTS. How optimistic you is government effort good enough to realize this dream? And the second question, in terms of the digital literacy, what do you think the government should do to train people to have literacy in digital? This is my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Asep. So, Ibu Grace, do you get the question?
The first question I have a bit blurred, which is the question is 1 BTS, 1 village.
Yes, he asked you how optimistic the government related with the infrastructure, because you mentioned earlier on the slide that one of the government objective is to build 1 BTS for 1 village, and how optimistic will it be?
Okay. Second question is the effective way to train digital skill, I guess.
Yes,
right?
yes. Concerning the gap.
Me,
yes.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Vanessa. Thank you, Asep, Mr. Asep, for the question. I think if you ask me personally, I'm a private sector. Okay, I'm digital enterprise and private sector. To be optimist is mandatory, I guess. People have to live with hope, you see, no matter what happens. I think it's what you call it, the destiny of human being. Okay? By God's grace, we are given the ability to think, to work, to provide creation. So optimistic is a mandatory, I guess. Okay. There still be challenge, yes. Okay. But Indonesia is definitely a big country and we have a lot of resources. When I visited like a few countries which is smaller, they don't have anything, only like I visited Sri Lanka before. Okay. They provide per jury, they sell the jury actually at that time through online. Before the e-commerce coming, they already sell it online. Okay. They only have few resources. If you compare like those small countries with Indonesia, we are very, very big and we have a lot of resources. I think my point is everybody have their own strength. And in fact, in Indonesia, the fact that Indonesia is a big country and we have a lot of resources is something that we should be very thankful and work hard for it. So optimism is mandatory first. Secondly, I was working with 3 telecommunication providers before, right? Remember, 95, people don't have mobile phone. What you call when you want to contact people, we have a coin looking for phone booth, public booth telephone, right? Telepon, what you call it? Di luar negeri, if you visited London, there is a museum with a booth phone there, yellow booth phone, right? Okay, already become Instagrammable photos. But at that time, everybody want to call their lover, look for that booth, right? So 95, first time I worked for the telecommunication provider, we don't have mobile phone, right? And mobile phone only reachable for the rich, very, very rich. And it coming with this big size, you see. Okay, and then becoming smaller, 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 and now only this size. Okay. So my point is people and the creativeness is very wide. And then Indonesia itself already accessible. Now we can go Jakarta, Sulawesi, Bandung, even Papua, we can bring our mobile phone. Can you compare that about 3 to 5 years before? It's not like that, right? So one BTS, one village, I do believe there's a lot of things to work for this, but we are very optimistic, I think. Or we can forward this to Digital Leadership Academy Forum, Professor Vanessa. Actually, regulator can explain how to achieve that. But I personally believe this is very crucial. Right? That's first. Secondly, train digital. That's why we have this session, I guess, Professor Vanessa, is to contribute to build the digital skill. It's a work for everybody, not only for government, I guess. Academician, education, we ourselves, right? When we are forced, but I cannot say benefit, yeah, but it's in a way it's a benefit, the good things lah. Even they sometimes it's not good because of pandemic. The pandemic forced everybody to change, right? So people have to change. When they're forced with certain things, because of pandemic, people change and people learn new things. The effective way to train digital is everybody have to work for it. I don't see any other way. Everybody have to work for it. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, such a good answer, Ibu Grace. Thank you very much. I remember when we had a workshop in the training, the DLA with Tsinghua University, some of the professors told us that the government effort to make the illiterate people to be literate is by, training them not only one time, but in a sequel and for such a long period of time. Because I also remember that they invest a lot for the adults and for the senior citizen to train them to be digitalized, such as using the the e-money and then mobile banking, etc. And they said, yes, we invest a lot from that, but we don't want the gap between the literate and then the illiterate is very big. So I think they did it like for years, if I'm not mistaken. So that is, I think, one of the example that can be implemented in our country. But the thing is, we have to invest a lot from that. Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Grace.
If to shorten, I think I wrap up the third session. Can we go to the third session?
Okay. Yes, please.
Already quite late actually. Okay, but another 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, go on.
Okay, so the third session we talk about Indonesian success story. Okay, all this item, all this initiative, I think audience can Google and then look for in YouTube the video. Commerce is a digital startup founded by Bayu about 7 years ago. Especially, he said at that time, he was going back to the village, his own, to the rural area, and then he saw a lot of youngsters with no activity, and at the end of the day, becoming distraction. Okay. They are fighting each other or do unproductive things, okay, and becoming criminal. So he is very sorry about it, and then he's thinking about, why don't I do things that provide a productive way, bringing revenue and also positive activity. So Bayu founded this commerce, which providing work for youngster. You can see the next one on the right picture is Kampung Marketer. So like marketing village, right? Okay. Actually, what this commerce do is getting SDM, getting resources, getting a people resources from his village to work as an officer or as a customer service online to help the enterprise in the city. Because if you hire like customer service officer in the city, the payable will be by minimum wage in the city. So what they provide is more efficient economic. And also for the youngster in this rural area is they get a good job, and then they also learning new things and becoming digitalized and social media aware. So it's a win-win actually. And the last time I visited or I worked with, I saw how they work in this village is almost 90% of the youngsters there already working, helping commerce, right? So they provide, the youngster was provided with the mobile phone, and then they work from 9 about to 4 something, replying chat, and then taking orders, and then doing wrap-up, doing report, those things, which is productive and minimize the criminals activity. Okay, this is very big. Aruna is now, I think, is the next unicorn already. Okay, they provide their story last week at the Think 20 G20 in Bali. The reason is Indonesia have quite a lot of resources in terms of maritime and sea. Why can't we do something about it? So Utari is in the middle one. On the left picture, there is 3 persons. In the middle is Utari. Utari is the founder. Okay, so Miss Utari founded this Aruna about 5 years ago, and now I do believe this is the next unicorn will be. It's all about Utari. I think you can Google and see what is the story of Utari. Okay, one of the things they want to help is to the poverty alleviation for the fishermen segment. Okay, this is something quite new. Actually, we have it and we can access, but people not always aware of it. There is PLN Mobile. And what is specific about this is they provide and help the MSME, the micro, small, medium enterprise with what they features in those PLN Mobile's apps. They provide a marketplace there, and then you can register for free. And then what is your selling? What is your product? Then you can offer them. So the latest update was about 700 MSME, and then merchant register, and then 32 out of 30 province already registered. Okay, this is the true story, and this is very funny. And when I read this, I was laughing at the first time. Okay, you can see on the right one. The right one is a mobile phone visual capture screen selling golok eyang yani. Golok, what is golok in English? Yes,
I don't know. Big knife, big knife.
Knife, similar to knife. Okay, so you cannot get knife if it's in Jakarta. You get knife. You going to the mall. You buy. Yes, it is very easy. But we are talking here about rural area, right? Very remote area. Not every village have the shop that is selling golok. Okay, so this micro, small, medium enterprise, actually not a company lah. This is, I think, somebody named Eyang Yani, okay, who can work and created a product. The product is golok, and then he put this at the PLN mobile marketplace. Next slide. Sorry, just one click. And he sold 926 golok using the marketplace. Can you imagine if he's selling just person to person only? I think a year he only sell about 10 items or 20 items within his own village. But because he put it here, he sold almost 1,000 a year golok eyang yani. This is very funny story, which is I met the PLN officer, and then he tells the story, and I saw, and then I looked, oh, yes, which is very good. This is digitalized on its own. Okay, this is the closing of the third section of Indonesia. I do believe everybody who loves pets, especially cats, I think know this Cici Chania TikTok. Okay, can you play the video? Just one of it, left one. So Cici Chania utilized her cats named Poloro to sell the custom cats. Yeah. And now she's very famous, to be honest. And her, how many followers, yeah, Lucy, this one? I think almost couple hundred thousands, yeah, followers. Okay. So her revenue is quite good lah. It was as a case success story, how she do things consistently, only one item, which is cat custom, and then she make the TikTok is very funny, fun, and continues, and becoming her own main economic activity now, right?
Beli ya, ini ukuran M bagus banget ya. Ini pakai model kita ini warna hijau dan di sini bisa code transfer bank Indomaret Dana. Oh, terima kasih, makasih gift, terima kasih.
Yeah, okay. Key takeaways is we have a lot of natural resources. There is very huge potential to be managed. Okay, Indonesia, this is very important. Indonesia young generation or any country young generation is actually have to be the key driver of digital economy, right? Okay, and then Indonesian people really look something like soft selling. You see, appreciate entertaining and creative content. So becoming a content blogger with digital economy now is actually very similar and overlapping things. Okay, the fact that Indonesia built the digital infrastructure is also to support the process of e-commerce growth for Indonesian people. Yeah. Okay, this is my last slide, to be honest. My message is only be brave and put your ideas into action. So I understand that you all will have to develop a business canvas. So I just put something visual similar to business canvas to help same understanding later on. Okay, I conclude my last slide. Shall we stop first? I give it back to Professor Vanessa.
Okay, thank you very much for such an insightful presentation, Ibu Grace Hani. We should give a big round of applause to her. So I think it's very interesting to listen to your presentation, especially when you share about the third session is about the Indonesia success story. So what can I conclude here is that being digitalized not only for the big scale company, but also the small, medium enterprises, even using a cat could be,
her own
some of the
yes,
their own cat. Yes, exactly. Although I'm not a cat lover, but I know that TikTok account because the cat is, I think, more famous than the owner itself. Okay. Since we are right now reaching 10:30, do you want some question from the audience, or we should end our session?
Visible. I'm open.
Okay. Let me ask. Probably we can open for one question from the audience. Okay, Bu Tuti. Okay, you can ask directly to Ibu Grace.
Thank you very much, Professor. Hello, Mrs. Grace. I'm very much interested in your insightful presentation. However, I would like to ask you from the point of view of a lecturer or a teacher, what specific skills that you think that we as maybe as a teacher or as a lecturer should teach our students on how to face the digitalized economy, because I'm sure that the young generations already know, they already literate about the digitalization, but how can we guide those literacy into making something that is useful for them? So yeah, maybe that's all what I would like to ask. Thank you very much.
This is very important question for us as a lecturer and a facilitator, and also you can say a parent's role for the young generation. First, for my opinion, I have a teenage also. Okay? Teenage about 18 years old. You know, there is very different segment from me personally, the Gen Z. Okay? So based on my own experience, the first thing we have to do is how to inspire them. If we talk about cleverness and then fast working response, their energy, I think this generation have enough with the good food, with the ecosystem, and then the access. Definitely, they have all the privilege comparing to our generation. But still, they need the wisdom and the right attitude to work it out and to execute things. First is how to always inspire them. And then secondly, continuous learning with humble, need to be very humble to understand. The student need to be very humble. If they are good at coding, yes, but they may not good in learning other things. So there's a lot of things to learn. So we inspire them to always continuous learning, right? So people which is introvert, usually they are good at learning themselves. But for life or executing in organization, they need to work with other people, right? They need to have a good teamwork, build a good communication, and those things, soft skill that we can reinforce or we can drive them to have more focus and open light of opportunity to practice more on the soft skill feature, soft skill attribute, I mean. The hard skill, I think we don't have to ask lah. They can Google lah first. So the way learn is have to be different, yes. Okay. And also people oriented have to be emphasized. That's why learning in the community, doing a project, build your communication, have a good attitude, do and don'ts, is for us during our generation, it's not something that we learn in school, to be honest, but we learn in life. I think it's the other way around now for this generation. They learn the hard skill, they have to learn the soft skill. So it's a balance actually. So it's my personal opinion as a educator and also as a mother, to be honest. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Grace. Again, let's give a big round of applause to Mrs. Grace Hani.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I close this session, let me highlight some main points of today's session. The government already set the Indonesian digital roadmap, which are focusing on 4 sectors. Those are digital infrastructure, digital government, digital economy, and digital society. And speaking of digital transformation, it is aligned with Indonesia Emas 2045, which one of the focus is on the middle income entering the digital economy phase. And being digitalized, we are facing many business challenges, whether internally or externally, but we have also some success story or best practices from other countries as well as from Indonesia. And the main important thing is especially for the business to be digitalized, and not only the big scale or medium scale company, but also the small scale, even the micro scale company who could also being digitized. So again, thank you very much, Mrs. Grace Hani, for your time, for the sharing and such an insightful presentation. Hopefully this is not going to be our last collaboration. Hopefully this is the beginning of the collaboration in the future. Thank you very much. So I close this session and back to you, Ibu Tutik.
Thank you very much, Professor Vanessa Gafar. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our session for today, but please do not forget that we still have 7 more sessions that will be held on every Friday and every Saturday from September 9 until October 7. So I have to remind again for all the participants to be active, to attend all of our sessions, because we are going to have a competition at the end of the session, and there are going to be big prizes for all the winners. But to do that, you need to participate, and you need to attend every session of our program. So I need to remind you that. And then if your friends, maybe your peers, or maybe your other international friends would like to join, it's still not too late. So I still encourage all of the students to participate further. And tomorrow, I will remind you again, tomorrow our speaker will be Dr. Muhammad Nabil Munawar. He is from University Brunei Darussalam, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And then tomorrow, the moderator will be myself. and we will start at 9 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. So I hope that I hope your attendance and your participation for tomorrow, but not only tomorrow's session, but also the next sessions until the end. So I hope we are going to have fun a lot in this year's program. And also I already created the WhatsApp group. So if you haven't joined, please contact us. And we will have, or we will give any information or any updates about our program. Okay, so I think that's all for today. It's already 10:30 a.m. I will close today's session. Thank you very much, everyone. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih banyak, Ibu Grace. Ya, terima kasih. Thank you, everyone.